Green Lantern Corps number 17, written by Peter Tomasi, art by Fernando Pasarin. This is the next part of Wrath of the First Lantern, and we open up with the First Lantern already just at Guy, and he's like, "Hey, Guy, you have so much emotion in you. It's tasty." And we see that he's like got all these colorful light tentacles all over Guy. And he is viewing his constellation, which is his entire lifeline from beginning to end. And he's like, boy, look, you're a middle child, grew up in Baltimore. You've already got issues just from that. But let's dive back into your deep past. Here's a night when you, your brother, and your sister were out playing hockey on the lake. And all of a sudden, you and your sister fell through the ice. And your brother reached out his hockey stick and saved your guys' life. But what if we change that? What if we change one tiny little thing? And instead of you and your sister fell through the ice, it was your brother and your sister, and you had to save them. What happens then? And we see that little baby Guy, he hesitates for just a second before he does the same thing, but that hesitation causes them to fall under the ice and die. And so we see his mother and father screaming, crying over their children being dead. The dad is like shaking Guy like, what the hell were you doing? Why didn't you save them? And Guy's like, I tried. And then we get Guy in the present. He's like, that's not how that happened. They lived, didn't they? And First Lantern's like, well, I mean, you kind of just imagined a world where they didn't. And I mean, is it really any different at all? Anyway, let's fast forward. And so we go 3 years into Guy's police career, and he is chasing down a terrorist who's trying to make his way onto an airplane. And he's firing off shots. His partner gets hit in the chest. He keeps on trying to do it, and he's just not able to. The terrorist makes his way into like the onboarding gate ramp, whatever you want to call it, and Guy takes the shot at him and explodes his explosive vest and kills a fair amount of people who are inside that gate as well. But he stopped the plane itself from blowing up. However, and as the First Lantern says, he's like, that led towards pretty much everything else that happened, where you did the right thing, you did the only thing you could, but you still got ostracized from the police because of it. Now, what happens if instead of making that shot, you lost too much blood from him shooting back at you, and you missed it? And we see it play out, and Guy missed the shot, the plane blows up, and he basically dies in the process. Like, he doesn't make it through that, and his last thoughts are just the screams of everyone he failed. And Guy's like, okay, well, that's clearly not how it happened, because I'm still alive now. And he's like, right, but it could have happened. Okay, one more thing. Remember when you became a Red Lantern and you killed all of your friends as they were trying to come and save you? You murdered John Stewart, Kyle Rayner, and Hal Jordan in your rage and fear. And he's like, okay, but like, no, that didn't happen because they're still alive. I know that's not what happened. And then all of a sudden in his past, he is surrounded by like a huge army of like zombified looking dead of all the people that he's failed. Most importantly, his brother and his sister right up on him, and it's just like, oh, you belong to us, Guy. You're greatest failures. And we see Guy just pleading for the First Lantern to make it stop. He's like, that's not how it happened. Please stop showing me this. I don't want this at all. And First Lantern just says like, oh, you don't understand what we've been doing all this time. If this is what I want, then it's what is. And that's just the issue. It's pretty brief to just talk about, but it does pack a whole hell of a lot of punch, especially in the moments where you just see Guy failing and he's like forced to look at that over and over again. Yeah, so I think that this is a solid next piece of the Wrath of the First Lantern story. I'm hoping that not every issue of this is just going to be the First Lantern going around and making people miserable, and then like all of a sudden in the very last issue of the arc, it's like, but we can overcome, and then the First Lantern just goes away. If it is, I'm giving this whole, I'm backdating and giving every single issue of this a 0, but I don't think it will be. As for this particular one, yeah, no, like I said, packs a punch. The art looks great. It does a fantastic job of explaining like, okay, and here's where things change, and here's what originally happened and stuff like that. The only confusing part for me is, as a reader of this series, without knowing what happened before the reboot, I didn't know that Guy was a Red Lantern, and they just kind of set that up as a you should know this by now, which I didn't. So yeah, one tiny little thing. But overall, I got to give this one, I give it like a 7.5. It's great. It's a nice beginning, and it's getting me pumped for the rest of the event as a whole. So 7.5.